Apple quietly gave the HomePod Mini one of its biggest upgrades yet. And the wild part is, it did not require a new HomePod, new hardware, or even a new app. It is all coming from iOS 16.3. And what makes this update so good is that it unlocks something your HomePod Mini has had inside it for a while. So what are these changes and how do they work? Why the new version? The HomePod Mini has always been a solid little device. It's small, sounds good for its size, and gives you Siri, music, intercom, and HomeKit control in one place. But here's the part most people missed. There are temperature and humidity sensors inside the HomePod Mini. For a long time, people have talked about them, but you couldn't do anything with them because they weren't active in HomeKit. But now, with iOS 16.3, Apple has officially enabled those sensors. So instead of the HomePod Mini being just a speaker, it can now act like a mini smart home sensor sitting in your home. And once a HomeKit can read temperature and humidity, you already know where things go from here. Automations. How it works. Before you activate this home app, here's all you need to know. First, you need a HomePod Mini. That's clear. Then you must update to iOS 16.3 on your iPhone as well as your iPad if you use it for HomeKit. Also, if you have multiple Apple devices linked to your home setup, it would be wise to update them too to avoid strange syncing problems. Once you're up to date on your devices, there's nothing else to install. No extra apps or complicated setup. Apple just drops the sensors right into the Home app. But that isn't all you get in the HomePod Mini. Where to find the sensors in the Home app? So, where do you actually find the sensors in the Home app? Open the Home app and you'll see your normal home view. The climate section is the most convenient location to look. You can now see temperature and humidity after tapping climate. You may view the temperature readings from your HomePod Mini by tapping temperature. Let me just say that Apple did this the right way. It's clean, it's simple. It doesn't feel like a beta feature or something hidden. But let's move on and see how the temperature and humidity functions work. How the temperature and humidity work. If your HomePod Mini is assigned to a specific room, like your bedroom or your kitchen, you'll also see the readings inside that room view. So you open up the room, and right at the top, you get a quick snapshot. Temperature, humidity, and honestly, this is one of those features you didn't think you need until you start using it. Because now you can quickly check if the room is getting too warm, or if it feels a little too dry, or if the humidity is rising and you need to do something about it. Now let's take a moment and talk about the HomePod Mini sensor settings. HomePod Mini sensor settings. Here's something worth mentioning because it can confuse you the first time. If you tap on the temperature reading in the room, it often takes you into the HomePod Mini settings. From there, you'll see a section called Accessories. Tap Accessories and you'll see two separate entries: Temperature Sensor and Humidity Sensor. In terms of settings, you can do the basics, like renaming them, choosing where they show up in the home summary, adding automations, or moving them to another room. It's important for you to take note of this interesting fact as well. In some cases, if you tap on the humidity reading directly, it takes you straight into the humidity sensor settings instead of the HomePod settings. This is normal, but it is also perfectly normal if yours behaves slightly differently. While it's cool to see the temperature and humidity, it doesn't change anything, because the real reason this update matters is automation. Once your HomePod Mini becomes a sensor, your smart home can react to the room automatically. That's the whole point of HomeKit. Instead of you manually adjusting things, HomeKit can do it for you. And this is where you start getting that smart home feeling. Best temperature automation example. Let's use a real example. Let's assume you have a HomePod Mini in your kitchen and the day is mostly sunny. Your room becomes uncomfortable around noon, especially in the summer when the temperature is high. Now, you may create an automation like this if you have smart blinds. Open the Home app, tap the plus icon, tap Add Automation, choose a sensor detects something. Scroll down and find your HomePod Mini temperature sensor. Tap it. Now set the condition to rises above 20 degrees Celsius. Tap Next. Now choose what accessory you want to control. Pick your smart blinds. Set the action to close. Save it. The shades will now automatically close when the temperature in your kitchen reaches 20 degrees and above. You may also include a time window to make it even tidier. For instance, you can limit its operation to 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. since the sun is typically at its best during that time. Best humidity automation example. Humidity is also something to pay attention to, particularly in the bedroom. This is because humidity influences the room's comfort level and may even interfere with your ability to sleep. Here is a really easy setup that functions effectively for that purpose. You can automate your humidifier if it is connected to a smart plug. For example, when the humidity falls below 35%, turn on the humidifier. When the humidity reaches more than 45%, turn the humidifier off. To configure it, tap the plus icon, tap Add Automation, choose a sensor detect something. Pick the humidity sensor. Choose falls below 35%. Tap Next. Select the smart plug. Set it to on. Save. Then create another automation. Same humidity sensor. Choose rises above 45%. Select the same smart plug. Set it to off. Save. And that's it. Your humidifier now runs automatically based on the room, not your guessing. More smart automation ideas you can try today. You'll get ideas right away as you start experimenting with this, but here are more automation ideas you can try. For example, you can perform the following if a fan is connected to a smart plug. When the temperature exceeds 26 degrees Celsius, turn on the fan. When the temperature falls below 24 degrees Celsius, the fan turns off. But do this if you own a dehumidifier. When the humidity exceeds 60%, turn on the dehumidifier, and when the humidity falls below 50%, the dehumidifier turns off. If you have a bathroom extractor fan, you can even use humidity spikes as a trigger. Extractor fan on when humidity goes above 70%, extractor fan off when it drops back down. And you can also set notifications, like if a room gets too hot, say above 28 degrees Celsius. HomeKit can alert you. So even if you aren't home, you still know what's going on. The big question. But here's the big question everyone is asking. Is this the end of third-party temperature sensors? Honestly, I don't think so. It depends on your setup. If you already have HomePod minis all around your home, then this could reduce how many extra sensors you need. But if you don't have HomePods in every room, you probably won't buy one just for sensors. You'll buy it for sound, Siri, and HomeKit control. So dedicated sensors still make sense, especially because they're usually cheaper. However, you should be aware of crucial limitations Apple has added. Important limitations to know. If the HomePod mini has been playing music for an extended period, especially at higher volumes, these sensor readings may become less reliable. Given that the equipment warms up while operating, this isn't surprising. So, if you need perfect readings for something really sensitive, you might still need a dedicated sensor. But for day-to-day smart home comfort and basic automations, this is still a really good feature to have. This iOS 16.3 upgrade is a huge success all around. It instantly increases the usefulness of a gadget that consumers already own. And the nicest thing is it doesn't appear difficult to use. The sensors simply appear when you launch the Home app after updating your phone. This becomes much better if you have several HomePod minis scattered throughout your house, because now you can create automation that truly fit your lifestyle and get temperature and humidity measurements for each room separately.